Hello again, this is the computer programming in the industrial and management engineering department. So we are going to discuss the next subsection about the method. In the previous video, we already learned about the basic method without written values. And for this video, we are going to discuss more about the methods, and we are going to discuss more about the particular data types with written values. Let's say we have this kind of problems. I would like to find the sum of integers from 1 to 10, 20 to 30, 35 to 45. Okay, so do you know what is sum of integers? So the sum of integer means I want to add the integers from 1 to 10. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and until 10. And if I have another values, like say from 20 until 30, so I want to add the values 21, 20, 21 plus 22 plus 33 plus 34 plus 35 until 30. And if I have another values 35 until 45, so we are going to do the same thing. 35 plus 36 plus 37 and so on until 45. So we have the patterns 1 until 10, 20 until 30, 35 until 45. So what we can do is, you can make the very simple for loop like this one. Integer sum equals to 0, and then we can do the for loop, and I will start from 1 until 10, and then do the sum plus equal 1. Sum plus equal I, and then you will do the printing for the result. Sum from 1 to 10 is plus sum. And after you do this for loop, you can do with the next for loop is starting from sum equals to 0, and then we are doing the for loop again from integer I, which is from 20 until 30, and then do the summation again, and then we print the result. After we finish with this step, we can go to the next, which we want to update the value sum equals to 0, and then we will do the loop, and then we can put the value 35 until 45, and then do the summation again, and we print the result. You can do like this one, but of course it will be very tedious. It will be time consuming if you need to repeat the same thing, while you know that you can just make a very simple way, which is using method. So using the method, you can check this one. This is the pattern. Okay, so you know the patterns are repeating, and the only difference is the numbers here: 1 until 10, 20 until 30, 35 until 45. Okay, so we can use the method, and we can use written. So what is written? Let's see from this example. Okay. Method with written, so you can check on your code. I hope that you already copy and paste the files. So in the Java files that I gave to you, there are some examples, and you can check the method with written. Okay. And in this example, we are going to check the summation, which is from 1 until 10, 20 until 30, and 35 until 45. And you can see here we have one method, sum. If you want to know which method is running for this purpose, so you can just press control, okay, check the control, and then you can see now the sum has been shown in different color, like it is in the thumbnail with blue color. So if you press the control and then you move your mouse here, when you click, so it will go to the method that is the thing you define here. So in this method, there are two parameters, 1 and 10, and you know that 1 and 10 they are integer. So the case here, we have two parameters. The integer, first integer is I1 and the second integer is I2. And you know that we are making the method with the static method. And let's see. In the previous example, we use void. Okay, I guess you still remember what is void here. So in the void, it means just a method without return value. But now we are making a return value. We make this as integer. When we make this according to data type, let's say it is integer, then you need to return the value integer. Okay? So if you change this one, for example, you change this one to double. No problem. Okay, there is no errors because if it is integer, let's say it is returning 3 as integer, then the result will be 3.0. Okay, but it will be different if you put this one as character, or maybe character is still fine. Okay, but if you are making like string, okay, of course it will be error. You can see here, type mismatch cannot convert from integer to string. So this data type should be the same with the return value. So if you're returning the integer, then you should put integer. Or if you put this one double, okay, then if you put this one double, the sum as a double, so it will be error because you need to have integer. Okay, so if you run this, yeah, summation from 1 until 10 is 45, from 20 until 30 is 245, from 35 until 45 is 395. So this example resembles the method. Okay, so let me explain one more time about the basic definition of the methods. Okay, so we learned that a method is a collection of statements that are grouped together to perform an operation. And yeah, we have public. Okay, what is public? Public means, yeah, so it is the modifier. This modifier is to explain that your method can be accessed from any other class. So when you put it as public, so any class can access this one for just, it can access without any restriction. For example, in other class, they cannot access another class because it is private. So with public, it is no restriction. Static. Now let's just use static because we are just making the one method inside the main inside of one class. And integer. Integer is the return value type. So we are going to return the integer. So if it is integer, then this value should be integer. If it is double, okay, then this value should be double. If this one is character, then this should be character. So it depends on the return value type. You can define, it depends on what you want to return. So this is the data type that should be the same with return value. If you have no return value, then you need to use void. And yeah, in this example, we have the method name, this is max, and we have two parameters. The parameters is num1 and num2. So we are making this body. In the body, we have one variable, which is result. And then we are going to check if the num1 is greater than num2, then the result will be num1. Otherwise, else the result will be num2. And we are going to return the result. Means if I run the max y, x and y, so it will go to this method. And the x will be the value of num1 and the y will be the value of num2. So the value of num1 will be here and the value of num2 will be here. Yeah. And after you do this operation, you will get the result. And if it is true, you will get the result with equals to num2, num1. If it is false, then your result will be num2, and you will return the result. So this result will be the value of the variable z. Okay, so Using the return, it means you want to assign the result, you want to assign the value into a variable. But if you don't have the return, then you will not assign the value and there is nothing to be written. Okay. So this method has signature. So we already learned about the signature. Before we learn about the parameters, okay, but now we have the parameters and the return value. That's why actually it's basically it's the same when you have this kind of method. The only difference is the return value. If it is void, okay, if it is void, then you don't have to return any value. But if it is a value that is already determined, integer, double, and so on, then you can put here. And for the formal parameters, okay, so the variables defined in the method header are known as formal parameters. So you can have this one, num1, num2, and you need to use this one inside of your methods, okay? So this is also the same with variables that you created, but these variables will be only in the method. And you need to know that when we have the parameters in the method, we can also have the actual parameter. The actual parameter, or we can say this is the argument. Okay, some literatures mention it is an argument. You can say this is the actual parameter. So the actual parameter here, x. Let's say I have the x equals to 4. Okay, and then I have the y equals to, for example, 6. Okay, so this is the actual parameter of this. And once I have the 4 and 6 here, so it will be delivered to this variable. So num1 will be equal to 4 and y will be equals to num2. So num2 will be equal to 6. Okay. And the return value, as I mentioned to you, so this should be the same with the integer or the return value type. So if it is integer, it should be integer. If it is double, it should be double. If there is no return value, then it should be using void. Okay. So let's see with one example, testmax.java. Okay. Let's go to the here and then yeah, I have the testmax. So in the testmax here we have the main method, and in the main method we have I, j, and k. Okay, the I equals to 5, j equals to 2, and then k is the value after we run the max ij. What is max ij? So if you want to know the method, you can just press control. Okay, when you press control, you can move your mouse again, then you will go to the method. Now, here you can see this is the public static integer. Okay, based on this one, I know that it will return a value of integer. And then max, we have two parameters, num1 and num2. Oh, okay, this is the same with the example. Okay, I already explained before. After we get the value, it will return back to k, and then we will print. The maximum between I and j is k. If you run, the maximum between 5 and 2 is 5. Okay. Now, if you are trying to check this flow, okay, what is the flow from this method? So this program demonstrates calling a method max to return to the largest of integer values. So you have the main method here. So let's see one by one. You have the main method and you have the maximum method. So the main method should be the first. Okay, you know that from the beginning of our class, you need to make at least one method, which is main method. And let's go one by one. We are going to this line, and then we are going to the next line. Okay. So I equals to 5, j equals to 2, and then we are going to this line. So the k will be equal to maximum I and j. So we will call the method maximum. And what is I? I is 5, j is 2, so this num1 will be 5 and num2 will be 2. We define here result as nothing, so the initial value will be 0, and then we are doing the if statement. Num1 is greater than 2, so you can check now. 5 is 1, 2. 5 is greater than 2, yes, so we will check the result. Result equals to num1. Okay, result equals to num1. Sorry, because it is true, then result equals to num1. Then we will do the next line. Now we are going to check the result, and the result will be written to the k. Okay, because k now equals to result, this is 5, then you will check the print line, and the maximum between 5 and 2 is 5. Okay, so okay, this is the flow. You can do this one, and then yeah, you can pass the ing and then do the selection, and then after you finish with the condition, then you will get the result. This is 5, and then 5 is assigned to k, and then you print. Okay, now you need to be careful when you have a written statement. It means you need to give the value returning the at least you have one written statement. Okay, so if you have like this one, you already learned about the condition. Okay? In the conditional section, you can check. There are some options. Okay, there are two options. You want to have at least one result, or you can have no result. Okay, so if you have no result, then it is not possible. But in the case of the integer with conditional, you should have at least one result. Okay, so for example, if they are having n greater than 0, return 1. If n equal to 0, then return 0. If n is less than 0, then return -1. Okay, so in this case, yeah, there will be an error. Yeah. Okay, why? Why there's an error? Because there might be Java cannot understand about this equation. Maybe from your human mind, you think that this is correct. So why Java cannot understand this one? Because Java will understand that if you don't have any other option, you need to solve with else. When you have the if statement like this one, then the compiler will know that there will be another option. There will be another case. Okay, if you have another case or if you have another condition, then yeah, the written value will not appear. So that will be an error. So that's why in order to solve this issue, the last if should be deleted. Okay, so the last if should not appear here. So just delete this one, and then you can just put this one. So the compiler can understand that if you cannot do this one, if you cannot do this one, you will do this one. In this case, if you cannot do this one, you will do this one. If you cannot do this one, you will do this one. How if this one is not correct? No option. Yeah, so that's the case. We have another example. We call it the GreatestCommon Divisor method. So the method can be used to reduce the number of coding and enable code reuse. Methods can also be used to modularize code and improve the quality of the program. So let's see. With GreatestCommon Divisor. Now, this is a method. If you are checking the GreatestCommon Divisor, I need to input two integers, the first integer and the second integer. So you have n1 and n2. The GreatestCommon Divisor for n1 and n2 is GCD n1, n2. Okay, what is GCD? So in the GCD method, we have two parameters, n1 and n2. Let's assume we start with the 1, okay? And then k equals to 1. The first is the initial GCD. GCD is the greatest common divisor and possible GCD. Now we're starting with the value of 1. While k is less than equal to n1 and k is less than equal to n2. Okay, let's see. If I input the value n1 is 4. Okay, and n2 is 6, for example. Okay, now you can run with k equals to 1, and after you execute k, 1 is less than 4. Yes. 1 is less than 6. Yes. Okay, so we will check 1 remainder, sorry, 4 remainder 1 is 0, and 6 remainder 1 is 0. Yes, then the GCD will equal to k. Okay, so the GCD now it is GCD equals to 1. Okay, and then k plus plus. So k will be 2. Okay, you know that the plus plus is adding by 1. Now we are continuing with the next condition. 2 is less than 4. Yes. And 2 is less than 6. Yes. So we need to check n1. 4 divided by 2 is 0. Yes. N divided by 2 is 0. Yes. Then the GCD will be equal to k. So now the GCD will be equal to 2. And then k will be added by 1. So we go to 3. 3 again, we check 3 is less than equal to 4. Yes. 3 is less than equal to 6. Yes. So we are making the n1 remainder k equals to 0. So 4 divided by 3 equal to 0. No, this is no. Okay. There is a remainder 1 if you divide 4 with 3. Then because one condition is false, what happened? This is the condition of n. So one condition false, it will return false. So we will go to the next one, k plus plus. So now k equals to 4. 4 is less than equals to 4. Yes. 4 is less than equal to 6. Yes. So we go here. 4 remainder 4 equals to 0. Yes, true. 6 remainder 4 equals to 0. No. Then yeah, we will not do this one. K will be added by 1. 5. Okay. 5. What happened to 5? So we have 4 k or 5 is less than 4. False. Oh, okay. Then we have n. This n, it means if 1 is false, it will go to false. So the statement false, and then we will go to the next line, which is returning GCD. So the GCD will be 2. Okay. And after we have this one, it will return here. GCD is 2. So if I run this, enter the first integer. Okay, we have 4, and then the second integer is 6. Okay, the greatest common divisor for 4 and 6 is 2. Okay. The method itself, there might be the overloading. What does it mean by overloading? Let's see the test method overloading. When you have the test method overloading, you can see like this. So when you create a method, you need to specify clearly about the return type and then the parameters. In the first method, you can see here, it is, okay, I'm not clear about the return value, but you can see here, the return value is integer. And there are 2 parameters, which is integer and integer. So if you click control, go here, yeah, you can check that this is referring to this method. Okay. What about next? In the next example, we have maximum, and then we have 3.0, 5.4. So what's this data? Yeah, this is double. So if you click control and then click the mouse here, so the return value is double. and the first parameter is double and the second parameter is also double. What about the third one? Okay, we have max and we have three parameters, 3.0, 5.4 and 10.14. So if you run this and max equals to this method, it will return double, and then we have three parameters. Oh, this is interesting. You have max and max. So the max here, okay, what is the max here? So this max, if you click control here, oh, this returns here. So the result of this maximum, num1 and num2, it will be compared with num3. So we go max here, okay, it is also here. So once we finish with the first maximum, we will check the result, this one, and we will compare with num3. And the result of this max will be here, okay? So the overloading, what is the meaning by overloading? So we put the same name, okay? We put the same maximum, name, but it shows different because the first max is returning integer, and there are two parameters which are integer. The second max method, it returns double, and the parameters are double. The third max, it will return double, but you can see the parameters, there are three. Okay, so based on this difference, yeah, it is possible to make the same method, but of course it should be in the different data type, or it should be in the different parameter. So when you do this kind of operating, please be careful because you may give the ambiguous invocation. So sometimes there might be two or more possible matches for an invocation of method, but the compiler cannot determine the most specific match. So this is referred to as ambiguous invocation. Ambiguous invocation is a compilation error. So when you do this kind of things, it will make your program error. Okay. For example, this one. If you run this ambiguous overloading, yeah, it will go to error. You will, okay, main method, and then you have max 1, 2. The first method of maximum, it will return double value, and there are two parameters. The first parameter is num1 with integer and num2 with double. You also have the same method name, which is maximum, it return double, but the parameter, which has two also, the first one is double and the second one is integer. Okay, so this is ambiguous invocation. In order to run this, yeah, you can try to run this one, you can try to run this code, but when you do this in your Eclipse, it will go to error because the problem is here. It has the same return type, the parameters are different. However, this value is referring almost the same with the data type. Yeah? So you can check the integer, it can be written with the double data type. Sorry. So in order to avoid this kind of things, I recommend you to use different method name. Or if you cannot use the different method name, of course, you need to at least make distinguish on the written data type. Okay. Okay, I think I will stop here and I will continue on the next video. Okay, and please keep informing that the course of computer programming will be in two versions. Okay, the first will be in the video lectures like this one, and the other I will try to go use the real-time lectures using the web apps. So please check on your announcement. Okay, I already post about the rules and the attendance rules, and please make sure that you can use the WebEx on the next class. So thank you very much, and hopefully I can meet you online soon. Thank you.